Hi, John Asen, Director of Instruction down here at 3D Golf Performance. And I'm talking to you today about pitching, or just in general, your short game. And I get asked this question quite a bit, John, how do I determine what wedge to use from what distance, etc. Well, I've got myself the 4 wedges in my bag, and basically I got the pitching wedge, which is your standard 48-degree lofted golf club. And then from there I've got a 52, 56, and a 60, which is quite often termed the lob wedge. I rarely use it. I find it very challenging, and I think a lot of golfers out there do. So I'm going to take the 60, and I'm going to kind of say adios to that one for now. So now I've got my pitching wedge, I've got a 52, and I've got a 56. And what I'm going to show you today is really how to control the spin and trajectory for good, solid shots and allow you to vary that trajectory based on how you deliver the sweet spot. Now the sweet spot in the golf club, as I get rid of 2 more wedges and keep my 56, is this little dot in the center that I have outlined with face tape and a little black mark. Well, if I control that sweet spot and how I deliver it to the golf ball, I'm also going to control the amount of lean in the shaft and therefore the amount of loft that the ball will start with when I strike it, and therefore the amount of spin. The other components will then be simply the length of the swing to fit with the length of the shot. So I could almost trust using one club for a lot of shots around the greens. And let's just say I've chosen the 56 for this demonstration. The other part of this is I've connected pressure point number 3, that is the big knuckle of your trailing hand, which sits right behind the sweet spot, with another black dot. So I've got a dot and a dot, and I've connected those 2 dots by my grip. And when I put my hands on there, I can feel that I've got the sweet spot connected right in this portion of my hand, and that is also my lag pressure point. So I know I need to have stress on that finger. If I do not, I will have air that gets in there, and I'll have these flippy hands and creating a poor impact condition with a shaft leaning back, and my club face is probably going to have so much loft on it that if it does hit the ball, it'll go straight vertical. So I'm not going to get a lot of forward motion from that, and not a lot of consistency. So what I'm looking for is obviously what we talk to you about as being our impact imperatives. Well, we've got ourselves a shaft lean, we've got ourselves forward weight transfer, or left, and we've got ourselves a flat left wrist. We're working towards all those things in each one of our shots in golf. And by putting these dots here and connecting them, I'm very mindful now of how I'm going to apply the sweet spot to the back of the golf ball to create this shot here. And this shot in particular, I've got approximately 45 yards to the pin, but I know it's downhill working away from me, but I've got to get it on the green at about the halfway mark, maybe a little bit more than halfway. So I'm actually going to apply a little bit more loft by taking my sweet spot and opening it up just ever so slightly, so it's not dead square, it's a little bit open. I'm going to aim a little bit left, and I'm going to make sure that I hit the ball with the sweet spot on my club face going down via my bent right wrist, or the dot on my trailing knuckle going down. Because I know if I have my hand like this, my loft will be pretty much standard. But if I have my sweet spot more de-lofted, I'm going to have my bent right wrist in a condition where that dot is facing down. So let me give it a try here. So I got my weight left, got my hands a little bit forward of the ball, and I got a little bit more loft than normal there, because that's what I was looking for, because I know it has a downhill slope to the hole. So really important that we take this information and apply it when we're practicing. Now I'm going to hit a shot with a little bit less loft. So now I'm going to keep the square face, and I'm going to make sure that that dot is facing down. And again, for that shot, the club allowed the ball to go much lower with more run. I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to get a little bit less loft. With a lot more run on it. So each condition I can do, I can hit the sweet spot the same way, driven by my right bent wrist being more neutral to different variations of angle forward, which is going to control my sweet spot and put different amounts of trajectory and spin on the golf ball, all with the same golf club, without changing a different golf club. And then you can simply alter the length of your swing to fit with the shot that's in front of you. All right, face-on view here of using my awareness of the sweet spot with the trailing knuckle, the pressure point number 3, which is our pressure point on the big knuckle that sits right behind the sweet spot. It's also our lag pressure point. We talk about it a lot in the complete motion. In the little chip and pitch motion, you have to make sure you have stress on that knuckle through the strike. It's recommended that you would actually hold that angle right through impact into a follow through and allow the hip to turn inward and complete your chip stroke. But what we're talking about today is making sure that we control the spin and trajectory of our shot using one golf club, and we can use various swings lengthwise to determine the shot that's in front of us. So again, I'm going to start with a fairly neutral loft, and I'm going to make sure when I hit this ball that I've got more stress on that trailing knuckle, and I can feel it de-loft the club and hit more of a lower running sandwich. So I've taken the 56 degrees and I've taken it a little bit down, but I'm still not digging into the ground when I hit this shot. I'm not sticking the ball way back in my stance and trying to hit down like that. So once again, neutral hands, ball's middle to forward to middle. I'm going to feel the stress on my trailing knuckle to control that sweet spot. Alright, really good spinning shot, controlled trajectory, gives me that distance, and now my measurement is just how much power do I want to give it, what length of swing do I want to give based on the situation I'm in. Obviously, we could do this with all 4 wedges if we wanted, so that's a choice that you make when you start building your short game. But this is an imperative to arrive with forward shaft lean, weight left, and you can see my hands are forward. Flat left wrist, work the club inward and upward, following your left hip. Really simple, and maintain the bent right wrist right through the stroke. Good luck with that, good golfing, and enjoy the hit.